In the Know Greensboro is bringing you a video with Andy Zimmerman. I'm Jan Cox with Keller Williams Realty, and it's a pleasure to be with Andy Zimmerman, one of the leading developers in Greensboro. He's the founder of AZ Development. He is a real estate developer, a new product developer, and a consultant for the outdoor industry. He owns Transform Greensboro, which used to be HQ Greensboro, and he's developed and restored West Lewis Street area. Gateway Building, home to the Centric Brand Company. Studio 503, which is an artist space. Forge Greensboro, which manufacturing spaces. Crafted, Boxcar, and that's just to name a few. So, Andy, if you can tell us a little bit about these businesses and any others that I've forgotten about, just to kind of give us a general area of what you're trying to achieve and how did you get started in developing Greensboro?
Thanks for interviewing me, Jan. Appreciate that. How I got started was what I call a happy collision. It was not intentional, but I was actually in between careers. I had just sold my second kayak company and was wondering what I was going to do next, and I was helping a friend on his farm, and I just said, let me help you on your farm. You don't have to pay me anything. I just want some time to think about what my next steps are. And I was on his tractor and I got a call from a friend of mine asking me to come downtown and look at a building that he was looking at. And so I came downtown and met them a few hours after the call. And I looked at the building and he looked at me and said, what do you think? I said, well, I think it can be a cool spot, but it's going to take quite a bit of money to fix it up. And he said, how much you think? I said, probably $1 million. And he said, well, I'm out. And I looked at him and said, do you mind if I buy it? And he said, no. So I called up the real estate agent, and it was a couple hours later, he met me out there, and we put in an offer on the building, which is now South End Brewery.
Okay.
So it was a happy collision. You know, it started with that building, and then I liked the work. I liked buying old buildings. The South End Brewery building was the original blacksmith shop in downtown. The original part of the building was 1898. And I found a lot of stuff buried, you know, behind the building, that horseshoes and all that kind of stuff. And I just liked the work and kept buying buildings and filling them up with cool things.
Yeah.
Breweries, distilleries, restaurants, Boxcar, the barcade. So pre-pandemic, we were on the cusp. As I tell people, you know, who are looking at moving to Greensboro, we're next. You know, we're next because Charlotte, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill are still in their heyday, but is becoming too crowded. And if you want a good quality of life for your family, from a lack of traffic and from an affordability standpoint, Greensboro is a place you want to consider. If you want to start a new business, Greensboro is a place you want to consider. It's more affordable to start here. Your rent's going to be less, and people are looking to move here out of bigger cities for the quality of life and the opportunity that Greensboro offers. So, you know, I think we were on the cusp. The week we had to shut down, the Performing Arts Center was supposed to open. 3,000 seats. I mean, imagine what that would have done for a boost to the local economy, for restaurants, for people just wanting to come downtown and walk around and maybe shop in a retail store and then go to the theater. So we were on the cusp with the Performing Arts Center opening. We were on the cusp of the ACC tournament was, canceled that week, and we lost tens of millions of dollars in revenue and taxes. A bunch of the swim meets that were supposed to be happening, and one national event that it was the first time it was supposed. So those things will all come back, and we'll open back up again, and I still think we're next. We are doing better at planning for the future here. I'm on the chamber board, I'm on the downtown Greensboro board and executive board, and we're planning for 2030. DGI embarked on a big effort to, how are we wanting to look in 2030, and how are we going to look? We need to start planning for it now. And the city's doing that as well with the bond issues and, streetscaping, and so I think in a few years, for those of you that have lived here a long time like I have, I wasn't born here, but I've been here over 40 years now, the change will be dramatic, and we won't recognize Greensboro in a few years as we recognize it today. But I'm happy to say that it's being planned out well. Where in other cities, our loop is going to be done around Greensboro when our time comes. They had to build it in Raleigh because they overgrew their expectations and projections. Good thing, but it created a lot of problems. I think we're putting a lot more thought and planning into our next step. With development, not long. I mean, people put a lot of projects on hold, and so they're going to take them off the shelf and start dusting them off. I am soon. I am sooner because I want to be ready when the pandemic is behind us. I don't want to get ready when it's behind us. And so I think a lot of developers are of the same mindset, and I'm actually, like I hear the housing market, commercial real estate is pretty similar. Of course, office space is the challenging piece, but I've got a different product than most everybody does out there. And so I feel good about my product of the office space, but I think that there is going to be more demand than supply on the commercial side. It's nice. Yeah, Greensboro's nice. It really is just a nice place, and that it's a nice place to live. It's a nice place to raise a family. It's a nice place to start a business. It's a nice place because it's affordable. It's a nice place because we have a lot of diversity here. It's a nice place because Greensboro has more parks than any other city in North Carolina. We have more parks. So I'm an outdoorsman, and I get to go ride my bike in so many places on Sunday, and the paths and the trails and the woods and so it's nice here. Tell people that, they are welcome to come to Greensboro, and we've got a good quality of life here for you.